let's start off with the first one. I'm not going to make us go all the way through it. And I actually, but I've never made him do it on the cool floor here, so I'll put this down. Hi, buddy. His other baby signal. Yep. So you need a chair, you need a dog, you need your training collar on, and I put that on. Oh, wrong. Yeah, I put that on the wrong way. Go figure, huh? Duh. Either on your site, so this will be good to do. Sorry, that's okay. Should we get the chair on there? Chair. There we go. Alright, so you got your chair, you got your dog, you get your leash, you get your training collar, and you walk over. And you make the leash only long enough for him to lie down on. Okay. No longer, so look how tight the leash is. Mm-hmm. And especially he has the long legs, so it has to be really tight. Sure. Okay. Like a smaller dog, you'd have more leash out. Sure. Because there's less of them. Mm-hmm. Then I usually time him until he goes down. And then once he goes down, our clock starts for 30 minutes. Okay. So we do a set. So I don't know if it'll be warm enough. If we do get a warm day, I'm probably gonna do this inside a lot with Robert coming in and out of the house. If I find a warm day, I might do it out in the park or something, but away from people. Yep. Yep. Yeah. A little bit. Yep. Absolutely. We're still working with that. Yes. Sorry, just with a close. I don't let him put his chin on my lap. Okay. This is one of those times in training that I'm not going to solicit the lovey-dovey stuff. Yep. Right. Yeah. He wants it so bad. I know. This is sweet. This is the hard part of my job. I just have to remember I'm doing it for the good of the dog, right. Not for my personal pleasure. Exactly. I did see him at the beach too. That's a cute photo. Yeah, so this week being week 3, now we're going to start to not only just walk down to the beach, but start going to the more populated places of the beach or Algonquin on the busy street. Yep. See how he does. There's some quieter streets if we find he freaks out too much. Sure. And like try to get to Portsmouth maybe, those sort of places. Cool. Sounds good. See how he does. So that's why we've been working diligently on this, because we need the tools to be able to do that when we get around people and him already feel comfortable with it. Right, exactly. Because if we try it right out in the onset around people, he's not going to get much because he's so, I mean, he's already so timid and anxious and not in distractions. Right. If you put him into the highest, you can sit down, by the way. Oh, sure. Make yourself at home. Do you mind being in the garage? We can be inside too. Let's keep it back now. So we wait for the bum to go all the way down. So that was good. So that was 2 minutes and 4 seconds. Okay. Great. In a place he hasn't been before. And his owner's here, and I'm sure he wants to be next to you rather than me. So now if I was doing this, I'd wait 30 minutes. Okay. If I got to 29.59 seconds and he's up, I'm going to wait for him to go back down. Okay. He's probably the best of this exercise of the 3 training guys we have right now. Okay, great. It is, everyone's, Benny's not nervous, Benny's obnoxious and,
Benny kind of sounds like my little dog.
Oh my god. He's awful. He's sweet and cute, but he's awful.
Right. I get it, yep.
Godot sometimes gets nervous around the other dogs, so he takes a longer time. Sarge probably takes the least amount of time of all of them to do this.
Okay.
Doesn't mean he's ready to be in a crowd doing this.
Right,
but
that's true. I know. But he's good at
But he's getting there.
I know.
Yeah.
Good.
And trusting. So a lot of this brings, so when we're around, when we can see people from a distance doing their thing, or even closer up. So like if I do it at a distance and he has no problem with it, then we're gonna move it up the next time.
Right.
You know, so we want him to be able to observe people walking by. No one gets to pet him. If someone comes up and be like, and they've been darting out of their house. It's like I'm walking down the snowy street,
Yeah.
and it's winter out,
Yeah.
and someone comes racing out of their house. You're like, dude.
I'm sure that scares him too.
Yes!
Like a huge movement. Yeah.
Well, it annoys me because I know they're coming out just because they see a Great Dane.
Right.
If it was any other breed of dog, they would leave me alone.
Exactly. I know. It's because he's different and he's like unique looking. People love it and they just lose their mind.
He's actually been good. So what happens when I do, besides telling the person to leave me alone, is I just keep walking with them. You know, so they're like, hey, can I see your dog? I'm like, no, we're training. Go away.
Yeah. Okay.
Just alone.
I've honestly even thought, as bad as this is, I'm like, do I need to get him a vest that says please don't pet me? Like,
that might attract more people.
You think so?
Sometimes it does.
Okay.
Depends. Sometimes I bring a dog out there in a muzzle, like look at that honking big muzzle over
Yeah.
And people will actually approach me.
That's crazy. They think it's safe because he has a muzzle.
Yeah. Or they want to ask questions.
Yeah.
They want to be the one that fixes the dog. Like I can fix that dog. Like, oh, go away. It's because of people like you that I have the muzzle on and you still come up to me.
Right. No, absolutely.
I perfected a couple of stares and glares that usually get people to walk away from me.
That's good. Okay. I know, that's what I need to work on. I need to just like
glare,
like,
disgusted glare.
Yeah.
Just leave me alone. That's what he needs. So like, when we go about training around people, I'm going to not be encouraging people to come over, but if someone stops me and they leave him alone, if I release him and he wants to go up to them, I'll allow that.
Okay.
But I'm going to scope the person out carefully to make sure that they can, you know,
Right. They're not gonna
obey the simple direction I give them not to touch the dog.
Not to touch him, yeah. And I guess just
Leave
his
him
body
alone.
language.
Right, yeah.
You know? If he's nervous, don't be like, oh come on. Like that's what people
I
do.
know.
Like, oh come on, it's okay. And then he just gets
no,
nervous.
yeah, it's not okay. Leave
Right.
poor dog
I know.
alone.
Like just let him be.
If you saw some strange guy come over to you, sketchy looking, and he said, "Come on, it's okay," how would you feel?
Right. Like how?
Are you gonna believe him? Or are you gonna go on the defense immediately?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
They're more gonna believe if you're just
ignore.
steady,
Yeah.
You know?
That's what I've noticed. Like before I brought him here, just like my aunt, for instance, she would just ignore him and go about her day.
Yeah.
And you know, do things in the kitchen or whatever. And he would be curious and come up and smell her. And then if he would start to woof, I'd just be like, go do your own thing, and then he would walk away.
I think, you know, sometimes I've noticed his woofing is sometimes when I'm treating the other dogs.
Oh, okay.
Like I want to be included too. Of course,
Okay.
you don't get a treat if you woof.
It's true.
So
Okay.
it's a bad strategy on his part if that's what he's
It's
doing.
true. Yeah. Yep.
You know?
That's funny.
So
Yeah.
sometimes I think it's a little demanding,
Yep.
bossy, but
Okay.
sometimes it's definitely because he's afraid too.
Yes. Yep.
They can be a little
That's
bossy.
interesting. Yeah. That's funny.
Not much. Okay. So pretend this is 30 seconds. Now you sit up on the chair with your bum. And I always like the boots you come in with.
Oh, thanks. Alright, so like,
Yep, right under your buttocks and is sit down as close so you have way too much lease out there. So
'cause he
reel
can
him
walk.
in a little bit, yes. You don't want him to walk around you. It's a very, you must stay here while I sit here, calm down and chill. And you can afford him a blanket.
yes.
Or no, I mean, does do it on the plain floor.
Sure, like inside, yeah. You know, he tends to,
But he does like the blanket.
Yeah,
And
I was
that
gonna say,
usually
once
makes
either-
them go down, less.
Okay.
Time.
Okay.
And you can't pay attention to them, talk to them, pet them.
Just nothing.
Just
Just
do
do
it for
the
ya.
cat
Just let him figure it out. This is a self-chill exercise.
If he puts his head on my lap or something, do I
Yeah.
push it away?
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
So you'll notice I was doing this
Okay.
with my.
Yep.
That will help a little bit. And I want to snuggle. You're so snuggly. Yeah. Push his head off. So he's gonna give you a harder time now than he does me, because he's learned he doesn't get to do that with me.
Do I have too much slack? Maybe.
Maybe a little bit, yeah. Don't be afraid to bring him closer under side, so you can always grab his collar and just move him in closer. Oh, he hears, Robert's responsible for plowing the street, so I think he hears the
He's
plow
doing
truck.
that.
I don't think he's doing, I think he's just running it's a really old truck, so it has
Oh.
to be
And
maintained.
started up and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, this wasn't as bad of a snowstorm as I thought it was gonna be. Not too bad at all.
Goodness.
I know. I'm over it.
I was
Right.
afraid it was gonna freeze, because you can see our driveway, it becomes
Yeah.
like, right now it's just slushy, but it becomes like a skating rink, that's why I have
Oh, yeah.
those cleats over there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So if I have to do long line on the ice, which I hate doing, I
Sure.
should also wear a helmet when I do that.
Right, I know. That would be beneficial.
Dangerous. Or maybe he's snowblowing, you know, it sounds like.
Oh yeah, now it sounds like snowblower.
It's hard to tell them apart.
I know.
They both make a lot of noise. Oh, no, you're not. I thought you were out there snow blowing or starting up the truck.
I'm done. Yeah, it's like up to the dogs.
Why, what are you gonna do?
I was gonna go out.
No.
No?
No,
Okay.
no, you're not.
Sorry.
That was.
Sorry.
So just ignore it, you're barking at Robert.
Okay.
Sometimes I think he gets protective, and sometimes I think it might be a greedy, like when Robert brings my lunch, he barks down too when he's adjusting the lunch, like I said, the bossy.
Okay.
Included in the food. sort of
Sure.
thing.
Sure. Okay. No, that makes sense.
Has he gone down yet?
That's it right there.
That's it right there.
So you're at 3:20, just a
Okay, that
little bit
wasn't as
longer
bad as
than
I
mine.
thought. Yeah. It's like we're gonna be
So just stay here for 5 minutes. I know, it's just like forever when you like go down, go
Yeah.
down.
Uh-huh.
Well, when he first came here, it probably took like 30 minutes. It might have even taken 45 minutes the first day before you went down.
Wow. Okay. So big improvement.
Yep. But that's how nervous he is.
Right.
You know?
Right. I mean, even though he just barked, now he's laying down and he's
Right.
fine. So it was, I don't know what goes on in his
Just
head.
looking cute.
Yeah.
Like I said, it could have either been like hello or it could
Right.
have been like don't come near my money.
Okay.
Possible. I
Yeah.
haven't seen any aggression on his part.
No.
regarding that.
Right. No, I haven't either.
Just-
which is
Just the warning alert bark.
Mhm.
He might just be an alerter, someone who alerts all the time.
Mhm.
We have Dobermans, so we're very familiar with that.
Yeah. Yep. He would do that. He used to have like a bay window. And he would do that. He would just do his little like woof to alert, like if there were deer or people
Yeah.
walking down the street.
Or a leaf,
Yeah.
or bird.
Exactly.
Squirrel.
Squirrel.
Sheena has to announce every squirrel.
Yeah.
These things, Shayna. You look, cause it sounds like, you know, there's a axe murderer walking up down your road. You
Oh,
run
you
to
would
the
think.
window and
Yeah.
you're like, what is
Who's
it,
here?
Shayna, a squirrel? Are you
Right.
telling me about the squirrel? You're
Like
like,
thanks, but I don't care.
not worried about the squirrel.
This girl was just like on the snowbank, and I just saw him. He was just like so alert, looking out the window. I'm like, what are you doing? This girl was just like staring back at her. It was cute. Like, I don't know. I don't think he would. I mean, he's picked up animals before, and they have lived, so I feel like he's not trying to harm them. But
Yeah.
he picked up a baby skunk once and tried to bring that in the house.
Oh.
He got sprayed, obviously. But he dropped. I told him to drop it. He dropped it, and it like waddled off. And he successfully brought a possum in the house.
Oh my god.
I didn't notice because he has toys like out in the backyard, and it was limp, and I thought it was just a toy. I don't know. I was like, whatever.
Was he playing dead?
Ran it, yep. So he ran in the house because they had like a sliding door, just let him in from the backyard. And then all of a sudden he was like over like by this table that we had, and the possum had run under there.
I used to have a dog, Leon, who never killed anything, but he could find anything dead that was out there and bring it.
Ugh.
Yes,
Gross.
exactly.
He did kill a snake on accident, I think, because they're just so small. I saw him with it. It was like in his mouth, like hanging.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, you're gross. It's funny.
Leon brought me a deer leg once.
Oh,
Yeah, from probably either a hunter who had left part of the carcass behind.
Yeah.
Or could have been, we do have coyotes that come through here. Could have
Yeah.
been coyotes killing
Yeah.
deer.
oh wow.
Yeah, we had no idea. We were fresh from the city, just moved here. It was like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, walking out and our dog has them. We're like, oh my god, what is that?
Like of all things, you bring me
We're
a
like
deer
out and my husband's like, I'm not going over there. And I was like, I don't want to go over there. Let's see what that is.
Oh man.
And it took us a little. I was like, it has a hoof on it. What would that be? Oh, a deer.
Deer, yeah. That's crazy. It's funny.
Now you can tell him okay and get up.
Okay.
So
Let
pretend
me
we're
stand up
30
too.
seconds. Yep. That just releases him. Good boy. Good boy. So we want to see that, eventually see that nice relaxed posture when he's near people.
Sure. Okay.
Finding a, hi Sarge.